Good morning and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about equation word problems. We're on slide 17 of your digital notebook. You can either print this out or take notes on a piece of paper. We are going to be using variables to write and solve equations or proportions. We're going to make sure our answers make sense. Let's look at number 1. Ed Sheeran's Instagram account gets 40 new followers. That should be an S here. Oops. Every 5 minutes, which proportion shows the number of followers he will have after 1 hour. Let's take a look at that. Clearly says a proportion, and I'm looking here at my proportions, which have set two ratios in fraction format equal to each other. That is a proportion. So I'm looking for a proportion. So I always start with the words of my proportion. The account gets 40 new followers every 5 minutes. That's going to give me my units. Followers every minutes. So I'm going to write the words out. Followers, minutes. All right. Now set up my proportions with the numbers. His account gets 40 new followers every 5 minutes. I'm just going to box followers in minutes because those were my units. Which proportion, now I need to find out what is my variable and what is my other known, shows the number of followers he will have after 1 hour. So it's giving me a time. I know I'm going to fill out the bottom of this, but it gives me in a different unit of measurement, hours versus minutes. I have to keep the same unit. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So I'm going to use 60 in my denominator. And I'm looking for the number of followers. There's my X. So I've set up a proportion, and looking here, this looks the same, but not quite. This doesn't look the same. Nothing looks exactly the same as what I've set up. So a great way to make that work for you is to think about cross multiplying. How would I solve this? I know that 5 is going to be multiplied by X in my solving process because I'm going to cross multiply to solve. So let's look for a ratio in my choices that allows for 5 to be diagonal from the X. This one does not. 40. This one does. Okay, I can see that this one works, but let's look at this one works too. But then I have 1. This one does not change the unit of measurement. That's not going to work. And this one has 1 across the X. So my answer choice is B. And I can see here too, even further, X is multiplied by 5 and 40 is multiplied by 6. It's not written exactly the same way, but it is still following the same process and is still representing that proportion. So my answer is B. Let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 says, as a lifeguard, you earn $6 per day plus $12.50 per hour. How many hours must you work to earn $16 in 1 day? Okay, this is setting up a two-step equation. And what I like to do is I like to set it up this way. I'm going to write one-time number. Then I'm going to write whether or not it's addition or subtraction. I want to have my variable and the coefficient, but I'm just going to write and number. And I'm going to look for my total. So my one-time number is usually going to be a deposit, something I'm only going to get once. And in this case, I'm getting $6 per day. I get the $6 per day regardless. That's my one-time number, $6. Plus, so if I'm looking, am I adding or subtracting? This is a two-step equation that adds. And here's my variable plus number. I'm getting $2.50 per hour. So I'm getting this per is going to give me my number plus the variable. So I'm going to write $2.50 and X will equal the number of hours. So 250X. And my total that I want to earn, how much do I have to work to earn this total? So there's my 16. So let's write that into an equation. I have $2.50 for every hour plus 6. That represents how much I make in a day. I want to know how much I need to get $16. I've got a two-step equation to solve now. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides, and I get 250x equals 10. Now I divide both sides by 250, or 2.50, or 2 and 50 hundredths, or 2 and 5 tenths. And I use my calculator. 10 divided by 2.5 is 4. So the answer to this is 4 hours. And I've set up my equation and solved. Thanks for listening. In the next video, you will look at slide 18.